Is there an actual volume, like a number, like a distance, weekly or overall, that we're going to need to run to give ourselves the best chance of a PB in Chicago? Like, how much is not enough, or what's too much? These are the thoughts that constantly play around in my head. But you'll also know I like a plan and a spreadsheet. I love a spreadsheet. So for me to run a 2:39 marathon and for Mary to run a sub 3, what do we think it's gonna take?
Are you still married to that dentist? Cut your teeth on paper tin. I'm all of it. Baptize your boredom in Chardonnay. Your timeline's a mausoleum.
Hi both, wishing you the best of luck for your Chicago Marathon training block. Really excited to see how you guys get on, and good luck to Mary going for that sub 3. And Ben, you're looking to go sub 240, I'm sure you'll smash it. A couple of things that really helped me was number one, dialing in my fueling. I see your videos on your channel doing really well with fueling. I know you guys are working hard, so I don't need to talk about that. The second thing is volume. That was something that I changed slightly in the build up to both of my sub 240 marathons, and that was to add in an extra double day. So I was already running 6 times a week over 5 days. I added another double in on that Thursday, and that worked really well, but it's also the quality of what you do in there. Threshold work has really been a game changer for me, and putting most of my focus on that. So that would be my top tip. Good luck.
Well, that was awesome. What a nice little start to the Mary. Come on, in you come. Thanks, Andy. By the way, Fod Runner, if you don't follow Andy on YouTube, is an absolute legend, OG of the game.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. Loved it.
And great advice as well. And it's something that we want to talk about in this segment right now. We're going to talk about what our first block within marathon training for Chicago looks like, and kind of how we're feeling at the start. Like, we're just coming towards the end of the first week, right? We will by tomorrow have done 65 kilometers for the first week, which we think represents a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, we looked back at all of our training over all of the training cycles that we've done, and what we realised, and we have mentioned it in a previous video, is that we've never had a consistently good start to a training block of an 18 weeks. It's always been maybe hampered by doing high rocks, or we were training for Tokyo Marathon within Shanghai. So, you know, there was always a weird start to a block.
Yeah, or we've been coming off the back of another race or a bit injured. So it's amazing to have a really strong, solid start.
Yeah, and that's what so that's our only aim for this first block. It's actually, for reasons that will become apparent, it's actually 4 weeks before we get a recovery week, which is not traditional. We usually do 3 weeks recovery, 3 weeks recovery, but we're doing Sydney Marathon within this whole training cycle. So as a result, we wanted that to work, that Sydney would be at the end of one of the blocks and we would go into a recovery week. So we've just jiggled basically our whole training around. So we've got 4 weeks to play with, and this is what we're going to do. I am just going to do 65 kilometers for 4 weeks. That would represent, weirdly, a huge victory for me and month. It doesn't sound like a lot of volume, but at the start of a training block, it does for me. And you're going to do a little bit more, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're going to do like 65 kilometers for the first couple of weeks, and then we're going to get you up to 70 and just beyond by the end of this block.
I'm glad you remembered.
Yeah, I knew that you didn't remember, because I could see you going, yeah. But that's the plan for Mary, and for the both of us, that would represent a big jump in how we've ever started a marathon training block. Caveat, I am weirdly, like, I've been training, like, I've been absolutely fine for 5 months. We've been going to the gym, I've been feeling great. Start the training block and immediately my hamstring just gets tight. Not injured, tight. No pain, tight. So what I've decided to do is prioritise consistency over these 4 weeks. If I don't do a tempo, if I don't do a threshold session, I'm not going to lose any sleep, because we know as coaches what is the thing that makes the most progress is staying in the game. It's consistency.
Yeah.
You are generally okay, aren't you? You're holding up a little bit better than me.
Yeah, I'm feeling fine. We've got a race tomorrow, and we had a race last weekend, so that's really our intensity at the moment. And it's pretty much just been easy running this week, but it feels really good to get going and just to be focusing on being consistent, having the space for all the training in the week, and feeling like we're there, because we were waiting to get started and now we're in it.
And now we're going to share with you our chosen session of the week. Yo. What's going on?
We're at the track.
Yeah.
For a little tempo session today.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy because we did the half marathon at the weekend. So we're doing some longer 2K reps at tempo.
We're back to the OG track.
Yeah, I've actually wanted to come here because the other one is a bit busy, so a bit more space tonight.
Yeah, this is way quieter. It's actually one of our favourite sessions because we do it. I mean, we do it week on week. In the first half of marathon training, this is just about teaching our body to suffer in that uncomfortable zone above what we would deem easy. Like it feels like this. What we're going to do now, or Mary specifically is going to do, is what feels like the last 10 kilometres of a marathon. So we're really like training our body and mind to get there early. What's your prediction on pace? What do you think it will be? This session is not about pace, by the way, but it'd be interesting to see where we're at the start of a training block.
Yeah.
At the very start.
I hope it won't be too dramatically far off marathon pace.
Which is what, 4:15 to 4:10?
Yeah, more like, yeah. So I'm like hoping it'll come in around 4:20, maybe 4:22, realistically. It's not too hot. But I'll probably regret saying that as soon as I start going harder.
So this will be interesting actually for Mary particularly to see where your pace is for tempo heart rate. So tempo heart rate range for us, it's a feel 7.5, 8 out of 10, and it's a heart rate range of the middle of zone 3. That's where we feel like we want to be in the last 10 kilometers of a marathon. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Warm up. Let's go. Put it out there in the open now. Mary's middle of zone 3 is about 168 to 172 beats per minute, and everyone, we always, when we do heart rate stuff, we always get comments, you know, your heart rate zones are particularly high. Are you sure that's right? Here's the thing, every single one of you watching, your heart is a different size, your heart is a different strength, it pumps a different amount of blood per pump in 1 minute. So there is not a single rule that is a one-size-fits-all when it comes to heart rate training. I coach people who have really like low heart rates. I coach people who have really high heart rates, and everything in between. It's utterly and entirely individual. So don't worry, when you see our heart rates, don't be thinking, oh my God, mine is way lower or mine is way higher. We're all different. Yours is yours. Ours is ours.
Ben has gone for a nice purple theme today.
For all my Scottish brothers and sisters, it was a bit of a running joke today. Scottish people can't say the word purple burglar alarm. So I've gone full purple, because also the word purple said by a Scottish person is amazing.
That's what I was going to say, it's like music to the ears. Okay. Rep 1 at tempo, 168 to 172 heart rate aim, but it's a 2k rep, so I've got to ease in because I want to try and stabilise there. Is that right, coach?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, halfway through the first rep. First K 4:11, heart rate's just hitting low zone 3, so gotta try and hold it now. Okay, last 100 meters now. My heart rate's just hit 172, so that's where I want it to be. Held it. And it's at the top now. As I come to the end of the rep, let's see what I get. Rep 1 was 4:11, and I just hit bottom of zone 3 at the end.
Yeah.
And then rep 2 was 4:06, I think.
Okay.
But I just held it exactly 170, and then it rose to 172 by the end.
Good work. So this second rep for Mary, heart rate is just pushing up to threshold, so we're making a concerted effort to dial back because we really want to be tempo in this session. especially because we've got 2 more reps after this. So just control. You find, like, long term when you keep doing these sessions, they're really about discipline than anything else. It's like being disciplined on the track is way more important than smashing yourself. What were the reps?
So 4:15 and 4:17. So yeah, I've slowed a little bit, but this is really, really good because I'm being disciplined and keeping my heart rate exactly where I want it to be. So, you know, that's where I've gone wrong in the past, where I've tried to hold the same pace or get faster. That would defeat the object of today, so chuffed with that.
I would like to say I took that one easy, but you know, Mary's running so well nowadays that was not easy. I am gonna do a tempo, my next tempo rep. I took a kind of high zone 2 approach, but they're all high zone 2 now, so I'll just see. I'm just running on feel, really. Okay, session done. Felt pretty good. Time to cool down. Hamstring is okay. Yeah, I've just got to not aggravate it for this whole this block, and I'm fine with that. Like, if I can do 65 kilometers a week with little intensity, happy days. Let's cool down. Gotta be happy with that.
Really happy. Yeah. Discipline over ego.
Yeah, and this is the thing with these sessions, is we're going to do these for the first 10 weeks of the 18 training, because it sets our bodies up to be able to tolerate kind of zone 3 effort, mentally accept a bit of suffering, and then about halfway through the training block we switch to marathon pace work when our body is ready. That's what I believe, is like our body will be ready to tolerate the kind of paces we want to run at that point.
Yeah, now we're training with where we're at, not where we want to be.
Exactly that, and that allows us to train where we want to be in the second half of the block. Track session done. On to... Oh, Mary, do you know what time it is? What am I sitting on?
Ice.
Ice?
Ice bath time.
It might be ice bath time. Time for ice bath honesty.
Let's go. Okay, so here's my update. Last week was my first week of Chicago training, so technically I'm halfway through week 2. This point for me is all about patience. Like, it's 18 weeks, so nothing magic or amazing is going to happen right at the beginning. So not too much has changed in terms of my overarching emotions. I still feel really excited. I'm ready for the hard work to begin. I mean, it has begun, but you know, we're easing in, so nothing feels too crazy at the moment. Had a bit of a tough one at the weekend. We raced a half marathon here in Phuket, and it was brutal, like awful. So I did have some emotions to battle during that race, and luckily I think Ben ran with me, and yeah, I felt quite negative in the race at points because I couldn't hold marathon pace, and it was a half marathon. In fact, my average pace was like 4:31 per kilometre, and my marathon pace needs to be like 4:12, but you know, I have to be accepting that here in the heat and humidity, it was so hot and the humidity was 87%. You just cannot run at your normal goal pace. You know, I have to train with where I'm at now. I'm not at peak fitness. I didn't train for that race, so I can't expect everything to come to me right away. And all I can do is dig in and do my best in everything that I do. So that is what I did in the end in the race. I managed to hold on and have a strong finish. Yeah, got to take the positives that I did that. Oh my gosh, this is so cold. What is coming is next week I start my lactate threshold sessions, which I am really excited about. And I think, you know, they are probably the hardest sessions of the week, but it's good for me to look forward to them and be ready to embrace that kind of difficulty and discomfort. And that's what it's going to take to get to a sub 3, is to go for it with the things that are hard. So I am like really fired up for that next week. And I'm looking forward to, next Tuesday, lactate threshold session. And for the long runs, we're dialing in at half marathon distance. So yeah, that will be this weekend. Yeah, and it's just about patience, like ticking off the days, ticking off the weeks, nothing fancy or crazy. Really working on the recovery around the sessions and good nutrition. So just trying to keep myself feeling as good and as healthy as possible. And the fitness is definitely coming, but it's going to take time. I accept that and I'm ready for it.
Just proof that I got in as well. I just want to mark this down because it's the 8th of June, which means only one thing. Well, it means probably a lot of things.
Day one.
This is officially day one of our Chicago training, because we wouldn't usually train on a Monday, but it's an 8-kilometer run because we've got a race at the weekend.
Yeah, so move things around a little bit.
Okay, let's do it. It's like 6:30 a.m.
With the punches, yeah, you'll be just fine.
Well, I can tell you now, this is the least easy 8 I've done for a long time. There's no such thing as an easy run in Thailand, unless I guess we whack the AC right up and get on the treadmill. But yeah, easy physiologically zone 2, but very, very warm. So had to get it done early on, day done.
Yeah.
Ticked off, first run, Chicago training.
Yeah, right. And suddenly you're the guest of honor at your own funeral. At your own funeral. And dealing with them scars, you gotta learn how to cope with the monkeys. Maybe you won't go far, 'cause that's life. We'll have.
How's this feeling with the new AC?
Amazing, I feel so good. I'm so in the flow, feeling good. Yeah,
Cooler room. And what are you doing?
just an easy run, but I'm watching Flobert's Boston race and I'm so pumped up. It's like, it's so good.
12 kilometers easy.
Yes.
Okay, enjoy. I'll leave you alone.
Good luck, don't lose your soul. Time slips by, you blink and then it's gone. Don't lose your soul. Soon you'll be the guest of honor at your own funeral. At your own funeral. Your own funeral.
So basically, that's a wrap on week 1, and I would always say, like, the first weeks of marathon training is so hard because you're just trying to find the rhythm, you're trying to get back into like that whole structure. I have gone up a little bit in distance, you know, 68 kilometers this week, which represents a great week for me, to be honest with you. If you consider I did a race at the start of the week and I did a race at the end of the week, and although I didn't go all out on both of them, you know, there's some intensity in there as well. But my priority for this block is very much going to be about getting through the block. I picked up a little, this is so Ben Bridges. I've had 5 months of training without too much issue. I've been going to the gym 3 times a week, strengthening my body. I've been so proud of where I can get to. My aim for this whole training cycle is to train 5 times a week, or 5 days a week, and eventually more times. And then I start the training block, and within 2 days I've got this hamstring glute issue that has come out of nowhere. So I'm dealing with that. I'm having physiotherapy, I'm having dry needling and shockwave and everything like that. I'm holding, but it's not ideal. However, 68 kilometers represents a big victory for me. If I can just replicate that week on week for the first 4 weeks, I'll be so delighted. It'll be the biggest starting block I've ever done for a marathon. I don't need intensity, and you don't need intensity. Staying in the game is way more important than anything else. So if I spoke to Andy's point of basically looking at 5 days for me, 7 runs, which is essentially what Andy did, that's where I'm aiming at. Andy also said, and an aside it was, but a very wise point, is, you know, you look at your previous training block or your best training block and you try to add just a little bit on top of that in the next block, and that's essentially what I'm doing. You know, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel, I'm not trying to add a ton more volume. What I'm trying to do is be sensible, and if I can do that, and if I can be sensible and stay in the game across the entire training block, then I've got a good chance of getting more volume than I ever have done, like 200 kilometers more than when I trained for New York, which was the most I ever did. I mean, Mary is at now, hopefully, 6 100-kilometer weeks. That's the aim. That's massive. I don't believe that the perfect training block exists. What I do believe is that you can chase excellent, and that's what I'm going for. And for me, excellent is consistent. Doesn't matter if they're lactate threshold, doesn't matter if they're tempo, doesn't matter if they're marathon pace. If I can just make sessions happen, easy runs, whatever, week after week, day after day, week after week, that will represent a huge and excellent victory for me. So there really is no set volume, there is no set days that would represent a marathon PB for you. It's just, there's a set days and volume for you. And I think that's the key, and it's going through multiple marathon cycles trying to find it. If you like this video, by the way, you should watch the first of this series, which I'll link here. It is a good one. Or if you want to build to high mileage, then why don't you watch the video of Mary and how we got her to multiple 100-kilometer weeks. Don't forget to subscribe to join the journey, and we'll see you in Chicago, New York and Sydney, and see you next week.